Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Riley. What's going on? Hi, Mary. What's up, Autumn? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? Hola. Hola, hola, hola. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está, everybody? Come on. What up, Mila? Ms. Viana? Come on, everybody. Here we are. We're here. Today's a crazy day. Today's a crazy day. Shit's popping off today. Shit's getting intense. Shit's getting real today. My God. Oh, my God. So much happening today. So much happening today. And it's wild. We're going to have everybody coming in. Are you guys going to come in and watch this in a second?
We are coming.
Take your time. Guys, we got the whole fam is coming in to listen today. Hola, Flor. We got everybody. Come on. Here we go. I want some time to let everybody make it in. All right. So right now, one, I love you guys so much. Two, big day for Los Angeles. For those who don't know, me and my family have been kind of doing this self-quarantining thing.
Here's the rest of your dinner.
My mom's bringing all the dinner. You put it on the seat right there, Mom.
Whatever you want, babe.
So for those who just like lay down, get cozy. So for those of you who don't know, California today enacted this thing called Safer at Home, which is what me and my family and my friends have been doing. We're just staying home unless we have to go to the grocery store or go to a pharmacy or go to like a hardware store. That's just what we've been doing. But now it's it's kind of illegal to not do that, to my understanding. But I want to know more, and I want everyone to know more. So I'm going to live stream what the mayor and the mayor's office had to say today. Just letting you guys know, it's like an hour of talking. So come in and come out. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be next to the computer listening the whole time. So I love you guys. And then there's words in Spanish at the very end. So if you speak Spanish, but you don't, if you speak predominantly or mostly Spanish, you can check back in about 45 minutes. And then, hi, Bia. You check back in about 45 minutes. And then sometime in that moment, you'll be speaking Spanish. You'll be able to understand. All right, I'm going to shut the fuck up. And I'm going to let Mayor Garcetti and everyone that's from the mayor's office. I am still texting people. That's happening every single day. You're amazing. Be quiet, Bia. You're amazing. All right, guys. You ready? You ready? Let's do it. All right. Look, and the whole family's here, too. Hi, Mom. So make sure you get your families. If you're living in Los Angeles, this is super important, all right, everybody? I don't need this piece of tape here. All right. Make sure we do this right. Okay. Here we go, guys.
For standing by, and welcome to the media briefing on coronavirus. At this time, all participant lines are in a listen-only mode. Later, there will be an opportunity for your questions. Instructions will be given at that time. I'll now turn the conference.
She's like, get out! Look out!
Please go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Supervisor Catherine Barger, Chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. I want to thank you all for joining us to discuss the next phase of our effort to combat the spread of the coronavirus. I want to thank Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti for your leadership and for being a partner during this difficult time. I also want to acknowledge Mayor Tornick and Long Beach Mayor Garcia, who both have their own separate health departments in their cities for their leadership and also for their partnership. Our own Los Angeles County Public Health Director, Dr. Barbara Ferrer, has been leading an impressive and responsive lead team to this growing pandemic. We are now taking additional steps to address this crisis. Los Angeles County Health Officer Dr. Davis has worked with the cities of Pasadena and Long Beach to sign a public health order that covers the entire county of Los Angeles. The order, which we are calling Safer at Home, is the next step to protecting our residents from the coronavirus by increasing social distancing. We know that staying home and limiting close contact is the best way to prevent community spread. We know that social distancing does not mean restriction from going outside and does not mean isolation. We still encourage you to stay connected to your community and loved ones in creative ways, and to spend much-needed time outdoors. People working in essential functions within the healthcare, government, and food industries will still be on the job, but we encourage other employees to stay home. The Safer Home Order allows communities to shop for essential items at the market, pharmacy, hardware store, and more. LAUSD and other school districts will continue to provide school services, which they should be doing. Under these guidelines, we're asking people to refrain from gathering in an enclosed space with more than 10 people. Details on the health order will be provided by Dr. Ferrer shortly, and will also be available online, including a document that will be created called Frequently Asked Questions, and that will be available to all of our cities so that everyone knows what we are asking. We know this will have an impact on the social fabric of our communities. We are striving to minimize this burden while protecting the overall health and well-being of our residents. We can't tell you exactly how long these orders will be in place, but we all know it will be temporary. We don't have to maintain these restrictions forever, and they will have invaluable long-term effects. There is no need for fear. We have plenty of resources available to help our communities get through this. I would like to ask everyone to only purchase what you need. Please do not stockpile, which leads to empty shelves and causes people to panic. We have enough food and essential items for everyone. I want you to help your community the best way you can and continue supporting local food establishments. Keep getting food from local establishments and delis through takeout or delivery. You can also order online from your favorite retailers or buy gift cards so that you can shop in the store when they reopen. Please, let's be kind to all those around us. If you have an elderly neighbor or friend, check in on them and see if they need you to pick up groceries. If you're looking for other ways to give back, you can donate food to nonprofits, assemble hygiene kits for those in need, or donate blood. Being safer at home doesn't mean being alone. You are still an important part of your community. To be able to contribute, we need you first and foremost to be kind to yourself by supporting your own well-being. Remember, you can take a walk, learn a new skill, read a book, video conference with loved ones, or enjoy open spaces. I encourage all our residents to continue to heed local, state, and federal public health guidance. As we know, this is a highly contagious virus. That is why we need to adopt these restrictions and measures. I want to remind everyone that the county is here to be a resource, especially when it comes to the latest public health information and updates on closures and impacts to county services. Please visit us online at lacounty.gov/COVID-19. Again, lacounty.gov/COVID-19. We are regularly posting updates to our social media pages as well. I want to take this opportunity to thank the public in advance for your help. Our shared focus and resolve is what is going to get us through this and into recovery. Let's all work together to protect the safety and well-being of every resident in Los Angeles County. Before I hand over the mic, I would like to acknowledge my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors for their continued friendship and support. I have a strong Chair Pro Tem, Hilda Solis, who has been constantly by my side to ensure the safety of our residents in Los Angeles County. Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas has been working tirelessly to prioritize a plan for those experiencing homelessness that are so susceptible to this disease. Supervisor Sheila Kuehl has been coordinating efforts with our probation department and prioritizing public safety, as well as emphasizing the need to serve our homeless population. And Supervisor Janice Hahn has been closely communicating with me to ensure the ports remain open and that they are well equipped to address the coronavirus while still allowing desperately needed goods to come into Los Angeles County. I am so grateful to serve our communities with them as our partners. With that, I would like to invite LA City Mayor Eric Garcetti to say a few words. Thank you.
Yeah! By the way, guys, I'm taking notes. You guys totally don't have to, but I am. Just so you know. I will.
Thank you. And I know the mayors of Long Beach and Pasadena are going to join us up here at a safe social distance if you'd like to come up now too as well. And thank you, Catherine Barger. I know a lot of people in Los Angeles have gotten to know you even more over the last few days. You have been an amazing voice and a tremendous leader and a dear friend. I love you for everything that you are doing for our city and county and your colleagues, and I thank you. I want to say thank yous again at the outset. Good evening, Los Angeles. I should start there. But I want to thank all the people who are watching. The everyday folks that are still showing up to work to make sure that our hospitals are open, that our grocery stores are working, that our shelves are stocked. To the first responders and others who are showing the courage of our city together. And I want to kind of cut to the chase tonight. Everything that we're talking about up here as leaders is because of one central tenet, that human life is precious. Precious to each one of us. And every decision we are making is with that in mind. How do we protect each other? And how do we save lives? We've already radically changed how we live in Los Angeles. I know how stressful this is to each one of us. And I think we need to be painfully honest tonight that we're about to enter into a new way of living here in Los Angeles for a period. What we do and how we do it, and if we get this right, will determine how long this crisis lasts. But what we do and how well we do it is also an act of love. A love for those lives that we seek to protect and a reflection of how precious they are. We've been through disasters before. We've been through earthquakes and unrest, recently through fires. But as I've repeated before, this is different. It's not just the incredibly brave men and women who are first responders. It is all of us who have the fate of this crisis in our hands through our actions and our decisions. And the evidence is that the steps we've taken since Sunday are working. In many ways, we see for the first time, I can't remember the last time I've opened up a Google traffic map and seen green everywhere. That's a reflection that people actually are staying home. We can see it in the air. We can feel it on the empty streets. And I want to thank you, because those are the only metrics we can really go by to see whether people are abiding by what we're asking them to do.
What I'm talking about.
But I don't want to sugarcoat it. Today is a day that will be seared into the story and the streets of this city. Mm-hmm. It will be a moment when everything changed. I think about our children who are growing up. Part of a generation, this will be their 9/11, their moment. And we have to explain this to them. We have to safeguard them. We have to hold them. I call it Generation C. This generation that is out there right now looking and feeling and wondering, Mom, Dad, whoever takes care of them, what is this all about? And we need to step up for them. We have a cadre of our parents and grandparents who are the most vulnerable, who, if we get this right, we will look forward to years and decades ahead with them, hearing the stories of this moment when we came together. They're the most vulnerable amongst us, who are already fighting disease, who live bravely through pre-existing conditions, those who are out on the streets in inhumane conditions, and this moment can be a moment when we save them too by the actions we take. This will be a day that stretches and tests the soul of this city, but I'm confident that across Los Angeles County, we will rise to the moment. So why are we making this decision? The data is crystal clear. We're at a point where the increase and the rate of increase, at least of the tests we're getting back, and we all know there's not enough tests. This whole nation and all of us were woefully unprepared for this moment. But it's the same rate that we see in a place like Italy. We are trying to intervene earlier, and we are trying to be one of those countries where that curve starts to flatten. In 1918, cities that took action quickly are the ones in which fewer people died. During the Spanish flu, those that moved more slowly, these were the ones in which, it moved more slowly, more people died. We cannot wait, and we must act now. I love this city. I love its people. And while I make these decisions with a heavy heart, I make them with a very clear mind and a steely determination in the days ahead, with deep gratitude for our public health officials who are guiding us through this. There's a lot of questions that I know you will have that we will not and cannot answer tonight about all the economic effects and how we will get through this and rebuild. Tonight our responsibility is to save as many lives and flatten that curve. But one thing is crystal clear in the fog of these days. We are all safer at home. So the city of Los Angeles, like the cities that are here with me, many other cities I'm sure who will join as well, and the county of Los Angeles is issuing a safer at home, stay at home order that will go effective midnight tonight. For employees of impacted businesses, this will take effect tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. But all businesses, including museums, malls, retail stores, for-profit companies, and nonprofit organizations, must stop operations that require workers to be present in person. And no public and private gatherings of any size that would occur outside of a single home will be allowed, with clear exceptions. I want to be clear about this, that the only time you should leave your home is for essential activities and needs. To get food, care for a relative or a friend or a child, get necessary health care, go for a walk in the neighborhood. And I'm so glad that Catherine was talking about all the things we can do. I think that there's been terrible terms out there like lockdown. Nobody is locked down, and we encourage you not to be locked down. This is not shelter in place like a school shooting. This is stay at home because you're safer at home. And the only people who should be leaving home and going out are those whose jobs are critical to the safety, the health, and security of the city, as well as the economy of recovery for us and the nation during this crisis. Emergency personnel, first responders, government employees, medical professionals, and vital infrastructure workers will be able to continue their jobs, but they need to exercise the social distancing that can save their lives whenever and wherever possible. The same applies only to critical businesses such as healthcare providers, grocery stores, news outlets, hardware stores, gas stations, dry cleaners, and laundromats, which are permitted to remain in operation. I know a lot of people will have a lot of questions. Go to lacounty.gov, go to your city's website. For those of you that are City of LA residents, you can see those details and some of the frequently asked questions at coronavirus.lacity.org. If we can slow the spread, we can buy days. And when we buy those days, that means that we can get ventilators, and we can get beds, and kits, and masks, and tests, and this will save lives. That's why we're asking this of you today. One last area I want to address is we do live in a free society. It's the bedrock of who we are. We aren't taking people forcibly like in other countries and forcing them to be home. But with freedom comes responsibility. And we're asking everybody who by and large and overwhelmingly has exercised these directives responsibly to adhere to them. The young and healthy, you're not exempt, you're safer at home. If you're less young and less healthy, you're absolutely safer at home. It's not a time to go to the beach in big groups, to take the whole family to go to the market, to get together with gatherings with friends. This is not the time. And we don't take these steps lightly, but we take them firmly. This is an act of love for the city that we love. This is LA love. There's no ands, it's ifs or buts. This is an order. But one last thing, too, is this is not some sort of alien invader. This is no racism or xenophobia can change what this is. This is not a military war that we are at. This is a health emergency. We're not attacking each other. In fact, crime is down and acts of generosity are up. And our fates are in our own hands. How can I get what I need, the minimum, while still staying 6 feet apart from as many people as possible? This is an exceptional city, but we can't wish this away. Even if we're earlier in this than other places, there's no magic moat around us. It's going to be the same everywhere, and those that act quickly have a chance of being protected more than those that don't. The city will continue to operate, the lights will be on, the water will still come out of the tap, people won't lose their housing, they won't get kicked out of their businesses. LAUSD will continue to feed, and thank you to LAUSD and other school districts that are distributing food. But this is not a request, this is an order. But I've always told my team, do everything in your hearts, with everything that we do, to lead with love. In Los Angeles, this is our moment, to lead with love and to protect those lives that mean everything to us. May God and the Spirit of strength lead us through these days. With that, I'd like to turn it over to my brother, who leads one of the biggest cities in California, and the second biggest city here in the county, Robert Garcia.
Thank you. I want to begin by thanking Mayor Garcetti and, of course, the entire Board of Supervisors, whose leadership in this time has been incredibly important. I want to speak first and just say that to the citizens of Long Beach that are watching and really across the county, this is a serious step, and I think all of us realize that we are in a serious health crisis. I want to note that it's incredibly important that all citizens, all residents across the county, and especially those I know that are watching in Long Beach, follow the health orders that are being released and that will begin at midnight tonight. Long Beach has its own health department, as does the county of Los Angeles, and of course, the city of Pasadena, who's going to speak in just a moment. And I want folks to know in Long Beach that the city of Long Beach and our health department is putting out the same orders that are going out today through our other partners across the county. We also want people to know that Safer at Home means exactly that. If you can stay in your home and you're not doing an essential travel or essentially traveling, please stay in your home with your family. It also means that almost all retail businesses and businesses across the county, Los Angeles, Long Beach, Pasadena, will be closed unless it's an essential service. I also want to note, and this is something that Mayor Garcetti has been talking about with our partners, as you're out in the next few days visiting, picking up food, going to the grocery store, please know that there is also no food shortage coming into the county or the city of Los Angeles or the city of Long Beach. While we know that many places need to be restocked, supplies are coming, food is on its way, and we have talked to warehousing and distributors, letting them know the needs, and all of that is on its way. And so please be kind, be compassionate, be courteous, and know that especially seniors and those most vulnerable need access to food, to supplies, and fortunately most markets are also having special hours for these groups. Also a message to our ports and our workers at our ports. We understand, especially the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, understand how important our role is to the economy and to goods moving in and out of our country. And so those ports continue and will continue to support the work that happens there. And my last message I wanted to say, that beside agreeing with everything that has been said before, is I have a special message also to all of the young people out there. I know that we've been hearing a lot on the television and in the news that this is something that affects mostly seniors or older individuals. That is just not the case. The truth is that while vulnerable populations like seniors are certainly in a much more risk position, young people are getting sick, and young people can absolutely carry the coronavirus and this virus to other vulnerable populations and are vulnerable themselves. And so it's incredibly important that as young people, whether you are a teenager and you want to go out with friends, whether you are bringing people together as young folks, it is your responsibility as this next generation to be responsible and take care of your parents, your grandparents, and your community. And please stay at home and use social distancing. That is incredibly important. And with that, I want to bring up and welcome the mayor of Pasadena, Terry Tornick, who's also going to say a few words.
Thank you. We're here because Pasadena, like Long Beach, has its own health department, and in all of this, we need to be guided by our health professionals so that Pasadena will be issuing virtually the same order that the county and Long Beach are, and we're guided by Dr. Gove, who is our Director of Public Health. We have all these new phrases that we've learned in in the last few weeks. I was, making note of social distancing and learning COVID-19. So now we've added safer at home, which I think is self-explanatory. And I think that these regulations that are being promulgated have other words associated with them. They're disruptive, they're onerous, they're draconian, but they're also necessary. We have got to, as Mayor Garcetti pointed out, we've got to flatten this curve. We can't allow exponential growth of this disease to infect all the people in the county. And so while we recognize that there are serious impacts associated with these regulations, if we're going to get ahead of this, or even catch up with it, we need to put these things in place. So I'm grateful to the public health officials who have guided us with this. And one other thing I would observe, and that is, at least in Pasadena, the people are ahead of these regulations. They're already self-regulating. People understand that they're not foolish. They understand self-preservation, and they understand that in order to disrupt the spread of this disease, we need to behave in a new way. So I ask everyone's cooperation. I ask everyone's goodwill. And once again, I would emphasize that if you can think about your neighbor, if you have a senior that you think may have difficulty with shopping, ask them if you can get them anything when you go to the market. I mean, these are not tremendously difficult things to do in terms of being thoughtful, and you're going to have some extra time potentially anyway. So please, let's reinstitute the sense of community that we have throughout Southern California. Make sure that we look out for each other. And I'm confident that with everyone sort of pulling in the same direction, that we can beat this thing and get ahead of it. So I'm grateful to the county supervisor, Catherine Barger, to Mayor Garcetti, to my colleague, Mayor Garcia. And with that, I will introduce the director of the county health department, Dr. Farrar.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much. I am so honored to be here with our leaders, who have led both exceptionally well and with an enormous amount of courage. So I want to particularly thank Supervisor Catherine Barger and all the other supervisors for the board here in the county of LA. The outstanding leadership is a dream come true, to be honest, for public health leaders. It doesn't always line up, and when it does, it makes a huge difference in being able to do the work that's most effective when you have a pandemic. And I couldn't ask to work for a better group of people than the Board of Supervisors here in LA. I also want to thank Mayor Eric Garcetti from LA. We talk often. LA is a big city, and again has set forth a path that allows us to move together, but move with deliberate action. And again, that makes a huge difference. When you can all come together, and I want to really acknowledge and be grateful for the mayors from both Long Beach and from the city of Pasadena, and to your health directors and your health officers, because this is an effort here in the entire county to make sure that we're marching together, that we have a plan, and the plan is safer at home, so that we all do our part to make sure that we slow the number of new cases we have of COVID-19. And we must slow the number of new cases we have. We must. Without slowing the number of new cases, we will, for sure, overwhelm not only our healthcare system, but many other essential services as workers who are doing those essential services fall ill. The predictions are not inaccurate to say that many, many people can become infected here in LA County. There's not a single person, except for those who already have the disease of COVID-19, that have any immunity to this virus. That means for all of us, there is a high degree of certainty that with exposure, we will be able to, in fact, become infected. And we're a very large jurisdiction. There are over 10 million people that live here. So if you start running the numbers, you could have a consequence of many, many people that not only are infecting others, but that for some of our most vulnerable who are getting infected, causes enormous strain on the healthcare system, since they will experience this with serious illness. And today was a sad day for us here in LA County because we announced our second death. And our second death was a relatively young person. So I do want to echo the messages we've all heard tonight, that this is a disease that can strike almost everybody who lives here in LA County. And there is no security in thinking that you're either not going to be affected or don't have the responsibility to protect others. We must think about the fact that each one of us on any given day can be carrying this infection, and that the people we're with and connected to may also transmit this infection. That's why we need to stay 6 feet apart for as much time as possible with as many of the people who we're interacting with throughout the entire day. And obviously, the less people we interact with, the easier it is to reduce your chance of exposing someone and someone else's chance of exposing you. And I too want to echo the thanks that have been expressed tonight for our essential workers. I know my team is in that group of essential workers, and they're working really long hours. And so are our public safety folks, our folks who are healthcare workers, but also the people who keep our transportation system running so that essential workers can get to work, the people who make sure we have electricity in our buildings, and the people who make sure we have the supplies we need to, in fact, deliver the services that make it possible for all of us to live our lives. So I want to, just express my heartfelt thanks. Many people are nervous. Many people are scared. But those essential workers are coming into work every day to do their part. And it's up to the rest of us to do our part to protect each other. So I want to talk just for a minute about what's in the order. And it is a Safer at Home order. What we did is we enhanced the previous orders of closure throughout LA County. And this order will go in effect, as noted, at midnight tonight, and it will stay in effect through April 19th, 2020, with the possibility for an extension should that be appropriate. As noted, all public and private group events and gatherings of 10 or more people are prohibited anywhere in LA County. If you have a smaller gathering between 2 and 9 people, you can only have that if you can guarantee that there's social distancing of at least 6 feet apart from everybody in that smaller group, and you must enforce access to either hand washing facilities or hand sanitizer at any group gathering that has less than 10 people. You have to post signs in conspicuous spaces that instruct anybody attending any place of business that's essential, that if they're experiencing any symptoms of respiratory illness, they must not enter the space. This order also requires the closures of indoor malls and shopping centers, indoor shopping centers. All non-essential retail businesses must also close. Outdoor malls must enforce the strict social distancing requirements if they are to remain open. And again, it's only for essential stores, retail services. All non-essential retail services everywhere are asked to close. Indoor and outdoor playgrounds for children, except for those that are within a child care center or a school, are also closed. And we ask that everybody adhere to all of the original guidances, orders that we issued later last week. That includes that bars remain closed, gyms remain closed, entertainment centers remain closed, theaters remain closed, all large event venues remain closed, and food establishments are only open for pickup, delivery, or drive-through. What's not included, and you've heard in the health officer order, are, again, the essential services that make it possible for all of us to live every day. So grocery stores are not included, supermarkets are not included, food banks are not included, outdoor farmer markets are not included, schools and child care centers are not included. Businesses that provide food, shelter, social services, and other necessities of life for economically disadvantaged people may remain open. Gas stations, banks, and financial institutions may remain open. Hardware stores also may remain open. Plumbers, electricians, all of sort of the folks that make it possible for our infrastructure to keep running, their businesses remain open. Healthcare operators and all facilities, healthcare facilities remain open. Transportation services remain open, as do residential facilities that house our most vulnerable. However, for everybody that I just listed and asked, I noted that you remain open, you must institute social distancing requirements in your places of business and your places of service. It isn't open as business as usual. It's open by taking an abundance of caution and remembering that everything we do, we have to look at through the lens of keeping our distance of 6 feet apart from each other as much as possible. Healthcare workers and those that are providing direct services are afforded the opportunity to use personal protective equipment that allows them to do their jobs really well, which require often close contact. But for the rest of us, we need to practice our social distancing as we note that we may be essential workers. And I want to close by thanking everyone. I've witnessed an enormous amount of cooperation, collaboration, kindness, compassion, and going with grace. Knowing that this is so difficult for so many, I really want to extend my deepest appreciation to all of you out there who have been doing your best to do your best part in preventing the transmission of more COVID-19 than we need to see. And I know it's been hard, and I know it's extraordinarily difficult, and I know for some people it's actually had devastating impacts. But I do want to let you know we're here to be of service. And at this point, being of service means trying to make sure that as few people as possible become infected and that we maintain a healthcare system that could treat everyone when they need care. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
So we're going to open it up for questions. We're going to take a few questions. So why don't we go ahead and open up for anyone that wants to ask specifics.
Ladies and gentlemen on the phone lines, if you would like to ask a question, please press 1, then 0 on your telephone keypad.
Nice.
You will hear a tone acknowledging your request. Once again, 1, 0 on your telephone keypad to place your line in queue. One moment, please. First question is from the line of Claudia Tashuta. Please state your name, please state your media outlet followed by your question.
Yes, thank you. Claudia Tashuta with KNX Radio. Can you talk about how enforcement of the order might work? What can people expect to see?
Well, I mean, the goal is for people to comply with this. It's not going to be law enforcement. I mean, we're encouraging people to get out and walk. When it comes to restaurants, I think Dr. Ferrer talked about the fact that we have the ability, from a health department standpoint, to go in and withdraw their health permit if they do not comply. But overall, the malls and all have already stated that they are going to comply with that. So in terms of enforcement, we're not going to have law enforcement going out there and arresting people, but we are going to have enforcement as it relates to those businesses and all that are not complying. And I don't know how you want to talk about that in the city of LA.
Thank you, Supervisor, and thank you, Claudia, for the question. I spoke just a couple hours ago to our colleague, London Breed, who's the mayor of San Francisco, which is a city and county together. She said that there are a number of city workers, and we're looking at the same thing with our disaster service workers program that I've mobilized, that can go out, make sure that people are kind of maintaining that social distance, help supplement the public health professionals, because I know how stretched they are right now. She gave an example. There was a nail salon that was still open. Folks didn't speak English. They let them know they need to be closed. There's a program to assist small businesses and help that happen. So we're really going to be reminding people trying to supplement that on the streets. But this is not one where people are going to be marched into jails and told. Obviously, where we saw some folks, even the restaurant order a couple days ago, there was one restaurant that said no way. In that case, we just had an informative visit from the police department, and the indoor dining was very quickly closed, and they had no problem with that. So it's a very light touch, but our message is that this is all in our own hands. There are never going to be enough county or cities workers to be able to, quote-unquote, enforce this. This is on 10 million people to self-enforce, and for us to look where those holes and make sure that those are closed quickly.
It's on us, yo. Our job.
Next question.
Yep, next question.
Next question is from the line of, one moment here. Betty Halsell, please state your affiliation and your question.
Hi there, my name is Betty Hossel from LA Sentinel. Thank you so much for your time. I just kind of want to get a very specific quote from either Mayor or Health Public Barbara Ferrer. I just want to know exactly the core issue, or how do I put this? The guidelines behind this court order, or I'm sorry, this city order. What exactly can I put as a quote? How is it going to help us in a better understanding? Because I feel it's a little vague on what we're trying to do here, but I just want a direct quote just to understand and process this as a people.
And I'll let Dr. Ferrer come up and correct anything I say wrong as a not health professional, but this is all about increasing social distancing. We've come a long way together, and we really have got people who are staying home, who realize they're safer at home, but there are too many people who are still in work situations, retail situations where they are coming into contact. And the public health direction is this is where the spread can continue to be. So it's making sure that there is that social distancing happening across the society with the exception of those critical workers. Is that enough? Come on. Okay, all right. I passed the test on that one. Next question, please.
And the next question is from the line of Steve Gregory. Please state your affiliation, followed by your question.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's Steve Gregory, KFI Radio. Thanks for the update. Listen, quickly, are we to assume also news media are part of essential services that are not subject to this order? And yeah, the other thing is, are you wanting people to see something, say something? So if they see people sort of not adhering to the social distancing or the gathering rules in this, are you wanting people to call the police? Are you wanting to call the health department? How do you want people to handle that?
Let Supervisor Barger and any of the other mayors say. I would say see something and say something, but to that person first. We're not looking for you to have a hotline and have tattletales all around the city where people then don't. We need to know about that. If after you tell a business that might not know, hey, do you know all the businesses are closed? Maybe there's a few people not listening to any television, not talking to anyone, not noticing that there's nobody on the streets. But there could be these cases. Absolutely. Say something yourself first. And then, of course, if there's anything in your own city or with the county public health department, let us know.
And how soon will the order be posted?
It's going to be posted right now, and then we are. The mayor was kind enough through the city to put together a frequently asked question, which we're going to disseminate throughout the entire county so that we're all on the same page. But to your question, I mean, we're talking about people coming together as a community, and so to the mayor's point, you don't need to call the police. You need to educate, because many people really are at a loss and do not understand. And so this is about coming together as a community. And it really is in the best interest of that individual to understand the implications if they do not follow these orders. Everyone is vulnerable. This is a virus that knows, no one is without the ability to get this virus. So we want to educate everybody about doing what's right. Next question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next question is from the line of Sarah Donchi. Please state your affiliation and your question.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Donchi with CBS Los Angeles, KTOL 9. My question, I want to ask a question on behalf of the renters, the homeowners, the business owners who are really, really scared right now in terms of making their financial situations work. I know you've enacted, various programs for them, but I want to speak specifically about things like LADWP. I know I've heard you've asked the gas company not to cut anyone's gas off, but is there any plan for any have to pay to keep things running while they're closed.
Well, I'll let Mayor Garcetti speak to the city, and I know that you all run your own in the city of Pasadena, but I know in the county, I've gotten assurances from both the gas company and Edison they're not going to cut off people's electricity. I signed an executive order giving moratorium to evictions, so I know that's in play. And obviously, I know that people are uneasy because many of them have been laid off. We are imploring them to apply for unemployment. We are working with our state and federal partners to expedite that in real time, knowing that, some people are just a paycheck away from not being able to make their rent. So we're aggressively pursuing that in the county of Los Angeles. But I'll let them talk to the other questions you have.
Okay. All three mayors are saying with our utilities as well, and certainly for the Department of Water and Power, we announced that there would be no cutoffs of water, of electricity. Thank you to the gas company for doing the same. And there's a ton of programs that have stepped up. We're going to try to centralize these for everybody. But for instance, Spectrum Cable, for those cities that have Spectrum Cable, have said that there'll be assistance and you can push off those bills. Of course, right now the law is there will be liability for those at some point. But right now people are getting crushed. So we not only did a residential moratorium on evictions, we did a commercial one as well in the city of Los Angeles so that no businesses would suddenly be evicted in the midst of this crisis. I also want to say, building on Catherine's point, we need help now from the federal government. I hope that Democrats and Republicans in the House and the Senate and the White House can move swiftly to give direct aid to everybody. And I want to say one quick thing on that. Let's make sure we help all people equally. I'm just speaking for myself here, but I know all of us believe all human lives are important. We need federal aid, and we need it now. But for our immigrants, many of the people who clean our airport or our hospital in this crisis, folks who drive the trucks, who pick the food that is keeping us well-nourished during this, let's make sure that we are helping them too, and don't let them perish because of prejudice. If we have visitors in our county right now, and I'm sure we do from other countries that are stuck here, we're going to make sure they don't go hungry. We're going to make sure they get through this. We should do that for our own neighbors, too, that are immigrants. But there's a whole host of ways to help. The power won't be cut off. The water won't be cut off. You don't need to buy water at the store, bottled water. This tap is cleaner, and it's plentiful, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper. So we'll take the next question. Thanks so much.
And the next question will come from the line of Jacqueline Cosgrove. Please state your affiliation and your question.
Yeah, hi, this is Jacqueline Cosgrove with the Los Angeles Times. Mayor Garcetti, when you were talking about Safer at Home in reference to Los Angeles City, it sounded like it was more strict than the county's order. And we were hoping you could clarify whether the LA City Safer at Home order is more stringent than the county's order.
No, we were all on the same page. Thank you for that question. We worked really hard to make sure that it was all the same so that there was not any light between us. We know that there's also 85 other cities. This applies to the unincorporated areas of the county because 5 supervisors are mayors for those areas too. So between the 93 essentially cities that we have, we're hoping as many of the cities adopt this, but the county order does go throughout the entire 88 cities of LA County. Next question.
And the next question is from Aileen Quincy. Please state your affiliation and your question.
Hi, my name's Aileen Quincy. I'm an actress and stand-up comic living in Los Angeles. I have a question. I understand that you're saying that only people should be out on the streets who are working in professions that are absolutely necessary, but I have a lot of friends who are doing deliveries for Postmates and for grocery deliveries. Are they still allowed to start working?
All deliveries, absolutely. So again, a reminder to folks, so there aren't runs on stores and stuff. You can still order online. We still have people delivering that. And of course, all the food delivery, of course, that is our model across the entire county and all of our cities.
Yeah, and I would say that for some of the delivery services, you pay before you receive it. So you can instruct them to leave it at the door. So and remember, the social distancing means that they can leave it. You can open the door and thank them as they're walking away, but you don't need to have face-to-face contact in order to get your goods. So that is still in play. Next question.
Next question is from Brody Levesque. Please state your affiliation and your question.
Good evening. I'm Brody Levesque from the Los Angeles Blade. This question is for Mayor Garcetti and Supervisor Barger. there's a lot of moderate and low-income Angelinos who depend on prepaid cell service, and unfortunately, either through no fault of their own or just the way their payments are arranged, they have to go in person to make these payments, sometimes to kiosks, sometimes to a retail operation. I didn't hear the doctor or anybody specifically address this, and in the information age where everybody's getting everything through these mobile phones, particularly in the Metroplex of Los Angeles, have you guys addressed that?
We do have exemptions for telecommunications, and we believe this would fit under that. Obviously, we have to make sure there's retail establishments that have that. So we're going to work with folks in the city of LA. I'm sure the county will do the same to make sure. Sometimes these are stores that are only that. Other times it's at your 7-Eleven, at your grocery store, and at other places. So we're going to ensure that people can do that. And any business that has any questions on that in the city of LA can certainly call 311, but we won't be shutting down businesses that are offering that payment in the same way that bank payments can continue for that vital financial services. Next question.
Next question is John Wellborn. Please state your affiliation and your question.
Hi, John.
This is John Wellborn at the Larchmont Chronicle. Simple question, where is the order or are the two orders going to be posted?
LAcity.org, LAcounty.gov. For us, it's coronavirus.lacity.org and longbeach.gov, cityofpasadena.net. We aren't burying these things. Everybody's splash pages everywhere have this, I think, on that homepage. Next question.
It is the line of Mary Beth McDade. Please state your affiliation and your question.
Yes, hi. It's Mary Beth McDade with KQA Channel 5 News. And also, I'll turn on my TV. A couple questions. First, how will this new order impact public transportation the way it's currently operating? And then also, people's property taxes are coming due on April 10th. Will this order impact those bills that are due with so many people now unable to work?
You've got 3 of the 13 Metro directors up here. Let me take that one, then I'll hand over the property taxes to the county. There are no plans to stop public transportation. Tomorrow, Metro will be updating folks. As in other cities, there may be adjustments to some of the schedules, given that there has been drop-off. But we will never stop that because we need those hospital workers, we need those grocery clerks, we need even first responders, child care workers to get to and from where they are. We're religiously cleaning our buses and our trains, our stations, asking people to keep those social distances when they ride, as we should be doing in our cars and other transportation. So there are no plans to cut off Metro. I can't imagine us ever doing that. And certainly, I don't want to speak for all the board directors, but I won't ever let that happen. The tax.
And then as it relates to property taxes, we will have something up. I'm getting ready to submit an executive order that will waive penalty fees for those that cannot make their payment on the due date. It's not for everyone. If you're able to pay your property taxes, obviously we encourage you to do so. We're going to make it easy by going online and being able to do it, but it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, and so that will be, I will have something up on our website tomorrow on lacounty.gov that will give the full explanation, because many of those are in escrow accounts too, so those payments will come through, but it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, but we are recognizing that there is going to be a hardship for some individuals, and so we are trying to be as flexible as possible. Next question.
The next question is from the line of Denoa Perez. Please state your please state your affiliation and your question.
Hi, this is Denoa Perez with Telemundo. First of all, I'm not quite sure if you're going to be having any responses in Spanish. If so, I'd like to find out as well. Is there any way for us to quantify how this measure can actually reduce the number of potential cases and also reduce maybe the duration of the crisis so people could understand how important it really means and what the impact would be if we wouldn't have done a measure like this? And if you are responding in Spanish, can you also explain what people can do? Can people go outdoors? Can people go to the parks? Can kids play in the playground?
Okay, I'm going to ask Dr. Ferrer to come up and answer about the curve and what we're hoping to achieve, and then I'll let Mayor Garcetti answer as well.
I think at the end we will do a Spanish address. Maybe Mayor Garcia Dr. Ferrer, so you'll get kind of a little bit of the overview speech in Spanish, and we can see whether we have time for questions as well, but happy to get that answer on the advice in the meantime, but we will, right after this section, do that.
It's a very good question, and it's a hard one to answer with exact numbers. But there are some studies that recently came out, one from London and one from Harvard University, that have done some modeling to allow us to absolutely be able to look at what the impact would be if you did everything in our toolkit to try to flatten the curve. And here in LA, it would result in thousands and thousands of less people infected, and that's really what we're trying to do. It actually is tens of thousands of people would be less likely to be infected over a very short period of time. I think the area where it's harder to predict is how long does it take for us to actually see enough of a reduction in the numbers of new cases that we feel confident that we can talk about relaxing some of the restrictions and moving beyond where we are today. And I think the scientists are still looking at that. One of the things that you do when you flatten the curve is you rely on the fact that what you're doing is just slowing the rate of transmission, not necessarily stopping the rate of transmission. And it's so hard for us to understand how that could possibly help, but the way it helps, because it means the same number of people might get infected, but they're just going to get infected over a longer period of time, so that you don't have this huge peak in the number of people who are sick and need health care, because that's what overwhelms the healthcare system. Is if we added 10, 20, 30,000 people over a week that needed to come into our healthcare system, you can imagine that that would require a lot of surge capacity. We think we have a wonderful healthcare system here, but the best way to keep it highly functional is to actually make sure that we don't see that peak of tens of thousands of people that all need care at the same time. If we're effective, and I think we will be, because we're combining both the best of social distancing here, safer at home is exactly that, you are safer at home, with our capacity as a public health department to continue to identify cases of people who are positive, ask them to isolate, and quarantine their very close contacts, as well as do investigations in our institutions, so that we too do the sort of containment side of the house, while you all help us with the social distancing side of the house.
So I know the governor is going to be addressing the state. I've been in close communication with him, so we're going to say a few words in Spanish too. I'm going to try to edit these, but we appreciate our Spanish language media who has been so patient, and I think Mayor Garcia and potentially Dr. Ferrer will say a few things. Buenas tardes, Los Ángeles. Hoy quisiera informarles sobre una decisión que hemos tomado. No fue fácil tomar estos pasos para proteger a nuestra gente en esa gran ciudad y condado que amamos tanto. La vida es valiosa. Todo lo que hacemos y decimos se basa en esta creencia esencial. La razón por la cual está pasando esto, donde empezó el virus, la inconveniencia causada por esta crisis de salud y el impacto en nuestra economía. Lo que importa más que todo eso es nuestra gran responsabilidad de proteger la vida, nuestras familias, nuestros vecinos, nuestras ciudades. Sabemos que el COVID-19 es increíblemente serio. Hemos estado practicando la distanciamiento social y no podemos tomar ningún riesgo con este virus. Sabemos que estamos más protegidos en casa. Entonces, hoy firmé, y estos otros alcaldes en sus ciudades de Long Beach y Pasadena, y con el condado de Los Ángeles, yo firmé una orden llamada Más Protegidos en Casa. Entra en vigor hoy, el jueves 19 de marzo, a las 11:59 de la noche, y requiere que se queden en casa. Y los empleados de empresas afectados por esta orden tendrán hasta las 11:59 de la noche mañana para cumplir con la orden, para cerrar sus negocios. Todas las operaciones comerciales que requieren la presencia de empleados en un sitio deben parar. No se permitirán reuniones públicas ni privadas que ocurran afuera de un hogar. Solo podrán salir